And we're back with more Doom. Now, for those of you who are just joining us and have no idea what this would be, Doom Master Edition is a... Oh, come on, why isn't that adjusting? There we go. I just have to move myself out of the way so I'm not interfering with health or armor, you know, the stat bar. Anyway, Master Edition is a ROM hack for the PlayStation 1, developed by the fan community. Now, what it aims to accomplish is that it rebuilds levels that were originally cut from the original release of Doom and Doom 2 on the PS1, as well as Final Doom. And on top of that, adding levels that were never ported there to begin with, like John Romero's Sigil. So, anyway, we last left off in, I believe, Doom 2? Pretty far in, but one of the levels that were cut previously from the original release for the PS1. What a mouthful. All this to say, this level is in the PC version, but it is not in the PS1 original release, or port. Because the port of the PlayStation 1 version was Doom 1 and 2 combined. It obviously couldn't do every stage. Some of them weren't included for technical reasons. One of them being on display right now. People who have seen the original on the PC would be quick to point out that this isn't normally boxed in. And they're right, it's not. It's also a lot taller than this. PS1 just can't handle the kind of dimensions that Doom 2 originally runs at, and even some areas of the original Doom. It's just too vertical for the engine that was written. That said, as you can see, the levels that were put back here are still built within the PS1's limits, and they have to be, because this works on PS1s. Literally built for it. That's why things like that fascinate me. Like, I know Doom 2, or no, not Doom 2, Downtown, level 13 in Doom 2, should be a lot taller, but it's really interesting to see it so squished down. It looks more like a quiet suburban industrial park as opposed to a city square. But still, all the elements are there. They're worked in. It's neat. I like seeing the kind of compromises they have to make. Might still be a little loud. I'm just gonna have to keep my eye on the levels. Right, I remember pointing that out when we first arrived here. There's supposed to be a spider mastermind here, as well as the cyber demon. It's like the thing about this level on the original. And yet the mastermind is missing. He's not in the game. But you see, the funny part about the way the Doom 1 and 2 for PS1 works is that the spider mastermind isn't seen until the very end of both games. It functions as the final boss. Well, a pair of them do. As opposed to the Icon of Sin, which could not be implemented for memory-related reasons. So, of course, we can't actually put the mastermind here. Because then how do you end the game? Stop strafing my rockets. Only I may strafe them. Perfect. Fuck off, Nightmare Cacodemon. Or Nightmare Spectre Cacodemon. God, fan creations create some of the most destructive things. There's an expansion called Eviternity and Eviternity 2. And that is where I met a Cacodemon variant called the Astral Cacodemon. And those things are bastards with a capital B. Also, yeah, this geometry is simplified. There's usually like a little inlet in there. And that's where the Switch and the Soul Sphere, that were both up here, were originally found. Small shortcuts. Think I better just save. For that exact reason. Always tough to get momentum there. So close. There we go. God damn. Oh, they're all Nightmare Spectres. Maybe... maybe nothing. I was about to say, maybe I reload and try that again to save some health. What was that? Oh, it's a Nightmare Spectre Cacodemon just against the orange sky. I was like, what the holy fuck is that flying green thing? Nothing in this game that flies is green, that I know. Heavy on that I know. That was probably not a good move, but if I can keep them bottlenecked in this stupid construct, I should be able to avoid most critical damage. Hey! Ass. Can that really be it? If you say so. Being awful generous with the health. Yeah, we can do better. We can do a bit better than that. There we go. Not a scratch. All right, the chasm. Yeah, this was 100% cut from the original. It was just too vertical to make the cut to the PlayStation. Amazingly, they managed to squeeze it onto the Game Boy Advance port. But how they managed to do that was divide the level in half. Well, it's not so much a chasm anymore, but I'll at least concede it's a pit. The stage they actually called the pit was more like the wading pool. This section is usually flowing green sludge instead of bricks and moss. Interesting. Keeps that nice and simple, easy. No cackle? That shouldn't be. I definitely appreciate these walkways being made a little wider. They're pretty treacherous as they are, but in the original they were just... It's like walking tightropes. You're supposed to be a mancubus. I think. Now I'm double thinking. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, Mancubus and Commandos. Can I still punch these guys through the window? No. No such luck. Take that, you motherfuckers. Pretty sure that's all the switches in this area. It damn well better be. I've acquired the Rune of Black Magic. Halfway there? I think so, Carnivorous Giraffe. I think so, that sounds about right. Also, welcome back. That's one of the best things about Quakes. campaign length, it's a lot more... It's very approachable. Oh, that's a corpse. I thought that was a texture tray. Oh, I guess it kind of is. Wait a minute. If that... This is supposed to be, like, next to that, so I can jump off to it. If that's only destination is there, then how the fuck do I get anywhere else? Is a legitimate and real question that I'm starting to have. Well, there better be an answer in here. Except I know there isn't. I don't know about this one. Literally how? Lift or something I can take? It feels like we're screwed. But that's not right. Surely they couldn't have built it like that. I know how it's supposed to work, but it's not built that way. Alright, I have a better idea. We're going to load from the very start of this map, and I'm going to see if I can just avoid that section altogether. Because if I can do that, then there won't be much of a problem. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on my levels. One sec here. Negative 19 is default. Okay, yes, hello. Was that good for you? Because I gotta reload now. No, not that. So now we should be able to turn you down. Let's give you 2 more kicks. See if that's... That looks appropriate. There we go. If you're that deep into the game already, you should be just about ready to meet the spawns again. Far and away one of my most hated enemies in all of FPS. That twitching purple explosive goo. don't fall in the muck. Oh, oh no. Interesting approach. Okay, you know what? Yeah, fuck this whole part. Especially you. This key will get me through. See, this isn't even a pit. This is a giant public pool. There's absolutely no depth. But once again, I do appreciate the thicker walkways in this reconstruction. Actually, greatly changes traversal. In a positive way. This is built very differently. There. This is actually deeper than it is in the original. Oh, yeah, and there's the exit, but we don't have a way to the red. Oh, yes, we do. I forget which teleporter it is. Speak of the devil. I'm pretty sure, yeah, we've got a berserk still active, so let's just beat their asses. Like a pay-per-view. Wait, that was the last level. We just still have chainsaw. Don't let him flank. Just carve them the fuck up. Well, that could have went better. Ooh, no, 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 no. Let's just use a gun this time. It'll probably go significantly better. Yeah, that went just a tiny, huge fucking bit better. I bid you a fond cowabunga, gentlemen. What an ass. Real weird that, that little bit of construction just doesn't work. I'm genuinely not sure how you would, how you'd beat that level in its current state. Well, I mean, how you'd do that section, because obviously we just finished the level. It is beatable, but I don't know. It seemed like I'd soft-locked myself earlier by doing that other part. I guess just don't do it, but that seems like the wrong answer. The Spirit World is my favorite map of Doom 2, and I was so disappointed that it was cut from the PSX original release. I wonder what they're going to do for the Spider Mastermind pit. Because they're keeping it till the end of the campaign, and there's supposed to be a pit with, like, 2 of them, and, like, their entire extended family of Arachnotrons, we'll say. Just lots of them. Good infighting. Maybe they just put more Arachnotrons. Is it built incorrectly? It was built incorrectly. Like, those red ledges that I kept teleporting up to, one of them closer to the ledge that, you know, you're looking at when you teleport to it is supposed to be high enough that you can jump to it. But see, the way it's built, you can jump to the ledges but not back out. And then you're just stuck teleporting forever. At least that's what I was finding. Now, normally, yeah, you're supposed to be able to be like, jump off the red steps back onto the normal area. But not one of them was high enough for me to be able to accomplish that. So that section might need a little bit of work. Heck, even just an additional teleporter that put you on the other part, that would solve the entire thing. So you wouldn't even need to necessarily compromise the geometry already laid in. I'm impressed to see absolutely no reduction so far. Apart from the Mastermind, which I know is coming. Oh, right. They have to put something else here, too, because there's no arch file. So instead, we have Nightmare Caco. They take about the same punishment, but the Nightmare Cacos are far easier to dust. Slower, bumbling targets. This is one of my favorite levels. Me too. It's my favorite level of the whole Doom 2 campaign. Oh, come on. You can get me, but I can't get you? I'm gonna save that Megasphere, though. It feels very, very different under the Aubrey Hodges soundscape. But I mean, so does every level. But this is delicious. Looks OG Xbox-ish. Close-ish, but not really. This is PlayStation 1. So, missed it by a generation. But only one generation. Oh, there's all the Arachnotrons. Glad to see they're there. Oh, they took the pain elemental out here? Why not? I loved being able to execute that caged elemental. Nightmare Cacos. Okay. So instead of masterminds, more Nightmare Cacos. At least we can still get some infighting going. Probably even more so, as a matter of fact. Just have to grab. Oh, this is gonna go bad real quick. Wait a minute. Is that Nightmare Spectre Arachnotrons? Are you fucking with me? Okay, that's not a twist I was ready for, but I should have been. Also, welcome back, Verducci Man. I see you sons of bitches. Suck it! That was pretty sweet. Wow, right? Like, it's honestly impressive how well the PlayStation 1 handled Doom, despite the compromises it had to make to get to the platform. Yeah, fuck you, robots. Nothing says fuck you quite like a BFG straight to the chops. Oh, of course it's that. Interesting there's no Hell Knights. But I suppose, you know, new Spectre Revenants. New with, you know, air quotation marks. Good. Thanks for eating both those rockets for me, pal. Appreciate it. One yellow skull key. One invulnerability. Total recover. Fuck am I doing this for? I'm invincible. I could be rocking the rockets. Now, is this PSX emulator or PC port of the PlayStation? This is a PC port. The front end is called PsyDoom, spelled P-S-Y Doom. And it will take any PlayStation version of Doom. So then you get your original release, your final Doom, and this fan-made Master Edition. It's how I vastly prefer to play my PS1 versions. First of all, just to be able to have like proper, like twin stick modern controls, it helps these control a lot better. Like I can still jive with the original controls, obviously, but the other major thing that I'm not doing for this session right now, but I have done in previous times I played PS1 Doom on the channel, we uncap the FPS and clean up the rendering a bit. And since it's a port, we can just do that on the fly. But I was deliberately feeling extra retro. So we're on the settings that make it run as it would on a PS1. Do you know who came up with the Nightmare Spectre variants? Is that the original Doom team, or is that a PlayStation Creative Liberty? That is a PlayStation Creative Liberty. Those dark green Nightmare Spectres were introduced on the PlayStation, and that's where they stayed. But in the original iteration, there was only variants for like the Spectre and I think the Imp. They're not nearly as wildly used as they are in this game. Like in the original ports, you'll never find Nightmare Spectre, Lost Souls, or anything truly godless like that. I would love to play SNES Total Carnage as a twin-stick shooter. I have it on PS3, too. Is the PS3 version not a twin-stick shooter? Because I know that's what it is originally in its arcade cabinet. I have a hard time imagining it being anything else. Unless, like, your PS3 version is the Super Nintendo version. Whatever one they sold, I'm not sure, but still. Are you getting the SNES Limited Run Doom? Absolutely I am. I am on one hand kind of don't want to give any more money to Limited Run, but on another hand, they're the only company doing this, and the Super Nintendo Doom is like one of the most personally important ports to me. I played that version, so I still play it. Still play it to this day. Matter of fact, I reach into my Super Nintendo right now, and look what card I pull out. I gotta get it. I have to get the new one. And once I have the new limited run version in my hands, I absolutely will be playing it for the channel. I know it's a horrible port running at 60 FPS. Right? Biggest mistake you can make is 60 FPS. Basically, for a very long time, like, that was the version of Doom I had the most regular access to, so that's the one that I played. And I basically climbed the console port ladder from there, hitting every single bump along the way. But loving it. I have very, very loving experiences of every console port of Doom. I really enjoyed being able to pair the Super Nintendo version with the PlayStation 1 version, as a matter of fact. Because the Super Nintendo version more accurately recreated the original Doom with the unsimplified geometry. It has all the textures, weapons, and stuff that the original Doom segment didn't have. Because it was based off of the Jaguar port. Whereas the Super Nintendo version was not. But this way, I could have a version of Super Nintendo Doom that was accurate, or a version of Doom that was, you know, more accurate or close to the PC, or I could have one that ran a little better, but was very different. In addition to, you know, a version of Thy Flesh Consumed and Doom 2. Pair that with Doom 64 and I'm a pretty happy guy. There's not anything more I need outside of that. Nice. I'm getting that, and I'm up in the air on Undead Line for the Genesis. I haven't actually looked into that. I will have to give that a check. What does your collection look like? What do you have for consoles? Oh, brother. I have been... Well, I can't even say accidentally collecting. I just kind of get everything I like to play. But, you know, I've bought things at opportune times. Basically, I've been at this a while, is how I want to preface it. As you saw earlier, Carnivorous Giraffe, I've got a Neo Geo Pocket Color. Let's see, where do we go from there? Well, let's see. The systems I have hooked up right now on my CRT that's off-screen, there's a 3DO, there's a Famicom, there's a GameCube, there's a Super Nintendo, there's a Neo Geo AES, and then not hooked up, I've got a Neo Geo CD, Sega Master System, Genesis, CD, oh, I already said that, PSP, DS, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS Lite, PS1, PS3, original Xbox, Xbox 360, Wii U, Switch, Steam Deck, let me think if there's anything else I'm missing. There's probably something else I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, but oh, Atari 2600, got that. Dreamcast, Neo Geo CD, I already said. Neo Geo X, Super Nintendo Mini, NES Mini, and it goes on like this. That's a flippin' list, man. Oh yeah, it is outlandish. Just outlandish. I find myself rotating them. And you know, my current rotation obviously is my 3DO, Famicom, Super NES, Neo Geo. But that'll change. Whenever I get another itch, then I'll unhook one or more of those and rehook one or more of something else up. Oh yeah, there's a Sega Game Gear back there, except it doesn't work anymore, so I don't know if that counts. It just needs it needs to be recapped. But it's there, if I ever get around to fixing the damn thing. Go down. Do you have a broadcasting monitor for those bad boys? No, I was never able to find one, but what I do have is a 27-inch RCA True Flat CRT, so It's honestly about as good as it can possibly get, short of getting a broadcast monitor. It's a nice big size, super crisp picture, get component output. So, yeah, I am just set. Unless somebody wants to give me one of those broadcast monitors. Or actually, you know, like if I had like my Blue Sky wants, there's this Japanese television. It's a CRT. I think it's made by Sharp, but they have a Super Nintendo like built into the top. There's just a cartridge port on top of the TV. I mean, it's Super Famicom, so I'd have to use Famicarts, but whatever. I've got Famicarts of good games. I'd rebuy Double Dip on some, absolutely. We're setting up a TV in our den, and I want to get some retro gaming going on in there. Hell yes! That's the way to have it. I gotta have my modern and my retros beside each other. Oh, that's a lot. Take that, all of yous. Nice. Yes, sir. Retro setups are where it's at. Anything that has like an S video output, oh my god, just looks so good on it. Like when my N64 was in the main rotation on the CRT earlier in the year, I run that through just a regular S-video cable, and it just looks spectacular. Yeah. This dude posts videos of his JVC. Oh my god, those sets. JVC TMH115 OCG playing retro games, and it looks out of this world. Oh my god, I don't doubt that. There's something about the color balance on JVCs that is just next level. And I guarantee the two were connected, but I promise, if you play a Star Wars game on a JVC set, those lightsabers are never going to look the same on anything else. And like, I'm talking like the Super Star Wars trilogy. I'm not talking like Battlefront. I'm still talking ancient, what was out at that time. Honestly, even my buddy had Shadows of the Empire hooked up to it, and I was like, this is just better than my PC. And we're playing the 64 version. This is fucked. Somebody please hook up a PC version to a JVC monitor. Which reminds me, while I'm on topic, I would love to play classic Star Wars games for the channel, back when Star Wars was still good. But, oh my god. The, Disney, they're kinda asses. The only way you can avoid that wrath is by not letting music play, and who plays Star Wars games without the music? Monsters. That's who. He was playing Rapid Reload for PS1, and man, oh yeah, that would do it. Rapid Reload, that and, God, I think what other PS1 games would really do it for me? Symphony of the Night, obviously. There's just something about the way that looks on any CRT. Even like a 13-inch Sanyo, it looks, that game is art. And Wipeout for PS1 and Saturn, yeah! Just blast Dankmas! That's a great solution. I could definitely do the Death Star trench run while listening to Don't You Eat This Pie. Now, Homer, don't you eat this pie. Oh, fuck, that'd be hilarious, actually. Oh, I shouldn't have interrupted that. I want to help the Baron out. I helped him supremely. Perfectly, to his end. A lot of people would be so confused. Maybe, but it would actually still be, you know, par for the course on the channel, like that time I was playing Doom Eternal, but I turned my regular Mancubi into Big Chungus, and the Cyber Mancubis into Shrek. Rapid Reload Japanese version only, unless you want to play at 50 FPS. Might even be 30. Oh! Interesting. I didn't know that. Sometimes there is reason to favor the Japanese version over the North American release. That's good. Have you played the new Shinobi demo? Oh my god, there's a demo live? I have not. I have not. I didn't know it was live. I was too completely consumed with Ragebound to, you know, bring my head up for air. But, no, if the demo's out, I'm going to be trying that pretty much immediately after the stream. I'm so stoked for Shinobi. Ninja fans are eating so good this year. Fucking Big Chungus. He made the game complete. He helped, and it was wonderful. But yeah, casual people who were stopping into that stream were like, what? What? What is this? Why is there a Chungus there? Demo live on Steam, PS4, PS5. Well, that cinches it. I will be playing that after the stream, because I gotta have me that. I hate to say it, but the new Shinobi is better than Ragebound. That's a tall order, sir. That's a tall order. I don't know if I'm ready to concede that. But, you know, I gotta play it to figure that out. It dropped the same day that the full version of Ragebound was released. Well, that would be why I didn't know, because I have been all about Ragebound. All about it. But interesting to know that it could possibly be better. I think it'll be one of those things that I won't be sure which is better, but I gotta have both. I got to have both. Because even at their classic best, like, you know, classic Ninja Gaiden versus, you know, classic Shinobi, it's so close. I don't know. Did you get the X-Fusion hack? No, I was watching somebody play it on stream, though. They were trying to bomb jump in the Aqua Sector, but they didn't have the gravity suit. So it was quite a trial for them. I hope that's not a mandatory path. They posted on Saturday, no strings attached. Oh, well, that would be why I was seeing the stream of it then. But no, in fact, I'm just gonna... Where is that? Ah, there's that note. I'm gonna circle it. Check again to download. I'll just add that to my list of hacks to play. Alright, now the Icon of Sin, as I had mentioned earlier, obviously not in the original PlayStation 1 release of Doom. What could they do? Let's find out! That's a different thing that he says. Nightmare Spectre fucking Revenants? Are you bullshitting me? I wasn't expecting an actually functioning Icon of Sin in this port. I was expecting another cop-out. It plays more like Revenge of Shinobi, but with combos. Oh, that sounds tasty. Tasty. But I don't see why that has to compete with Ragebound for my love, because that sounds different. And why choose ninjas when you can just have more ninjas? Fuck. Damn it. Hope you had a nice lunch. I did, Alex. Thank you. Welcome back, by the way. Also, welcome, Sergeant Frosty. I'm so sorry I didn't acknowledge you proper, even though I've been engaging you. I've been intrigued by your idea. What? The fuck just happened? Splorch. I think the Streets of Rage 4 team worked on it. Oh my god. Streets of Rage 4 was incredible. Like one of the best beat-em-ups I've ever played. If there's any people I feel I could trust to just wow the shit out of me with Shinobi, it would be that team. Yeah, I just looked it up. They did Streets of Rage 4 and Wonder Boy 3. Oh my god. That's another game that just robbed me of so much time. It was so fucking good. I checked out that remake on a whim, and it just ran away with me. Okay. We definitely landed that hit. They keep serving up ninja games of this quality. I'm going to start asking questions like, how about Shadow Dancer? Can we get that back? God damn it. All right, everybody, time to calm down. Shit. Shit. There you go, you son of a bitch. That was so cool. See, now that I've seen it and played it, I no longer buy the excuse that the Icon of Sin couldn't be done because of memory restrictions. We just saw that it can be. Shadow Dancer was the GOAT. Oh, fuck yeah! Man of culture here, being the only other person I know who would recognize that. Awesome! The Genesis version was way better than the arcade. Absolute facts. Absolute facts. Nicely done. Thank you, Carnivorous. And now we are starting No Rest for the Living, which has obviously never been ported to PS1 since that was, well, until recently exclusive to the Xbox 360 release of Doom 2. I used to play with the ninja stars turned off to get the bonus. Ooh, hardcore. Hardcore. God, at this point, bring back Wrath of the Black Manta. I would play that without irony. Of course, the proper best answer is all these excellent indie ninja games that are also out there right now. Like, if you're into, like, Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi, then you ought to be checking out things like Cyber Shadow and Oniken, or Oniken. I don't know how that's pronounced. It's one of those words I read. I'm like, that's a funny thing. Excellent, excellent game. Ninja 1987, too. Had a great time playing that. New Doom maps are insanely large and difficult. Yes, they are. That's the thing that I find the hardest part about doing an Ultra Nightmare run on, like, the newest game, the Dark Ages, is that you can't, like, quit stage. Like, use the checkpoint. You have to beat the entire stage in one go. I'm like, dude, do you not know how big Siege Part 1 is? That's not a single sitting thing for a grown adult. No, Wrath of the Black Manta was terrible. That's one of those games I played so much in my youth because I just had it. And I still play it to this day, unsure of whether or not it's good, just that I have a great time playing it. So, I guess, more for me. More for me. The Messenger was awesome. I'm torn on The Messenger. I got it, and I was having a great fucking time with it. And then, at what I guess is the halfway point, it felt like it was a lot deeper in the game than that. But, then the game was like, guess what? Now I'm not Ninja Gaiden, I'm Metroid. I'm like, this is exactly not the game I was playing, or wanted to play. Like, there we go. At the time I was playing The Messenger, I was actively trying to get away from the Metroid likes, because there was so many of them. So many of them. I started to become really jaded and fussy about which ones I would actually play. I still love the genre, but oh my god, there's so damn many of them, especially on Steam. So when what was at first a breath of fresh ninja air became just like everything else, I was very disappointed. So I stopped playing and I never went back. Cyber Shadow I played afterwards, and that gave me the linear experience that I desired. So it won me over a lot more. I didn't try Katana Zero though. Oh, you're missing out. You're missing the hell out. No, not Dark Ages. I mean Legacy of Rust. Oh yeah, Legacy of Rust is awesome. Yeah, halfway through turns into 16-bit. Oh no, not quite. There are those portals that have you jumping between 8 and 16-bit throughout. And those are great. I love that. It's when it makes you backtrack through the entire game as though it were Metroid instead of playing it as though it were Ninja Gaiden. That's where it lost me. Because I wanted just the straight-ahead ninja experience. If I wanted to play a Metroid, I'd have played one of literally the innumerable other ones out there. Like a Robot Named Fight, which remains my favorite one. Fuck are you? I hear you when you can shoot me, and I don't like that. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon was a great Castlevania throwback. Absolutely. And I would have to say, I would even offer to addendum that with just Bloodstained, period. Because Ritual of the Night was an excellent, excellent Symphony of the Night. And then, then of course Curse of the Moon brought us Classic Vania. So it was a Vania for all seasons. Good old Bloodstained. I prefer the Curse of the Moon games because, you know, like I said, I am always thirstier for the linear action. Ritual of the Night was pretty good. Yeah, it was. It had a good soundtrack, too. I preferred the Curse of the Moon games, but, you know, point is, we still got some quality shit out of it. There was a Record of Lodos War game for new consoles that played like Symphony. Yeah, you played as Deedlit, and oh my god, the name is escaping me, but I know exactly what game you're talking about. That's actually something I would have liked to have played because I like Record of Lodos War. And since, you know, the game isn't going to pull a fast one on me, tricking me, I know what I'm getting into from the jump. Unlike The Messenger. And, you know, no shade on The Messenger, it just wasn't for me. It might have disappointed me, but I know it's so awesome for so many others, and I wouldn't dare take that from them. Oh yeah, you just tangentially reminded me that one of my friends had actually recommended me that Record of Lodos War game. Which is frustrating me that I don't remember the name now. The Pain Labs. Alright, I gotta look that up. Okay. Record of Lodos War Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. That's it. That's it. Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. Yeah, I remember the Dreamcast game, and you didn't play as any of the characters that you run into Parn early on. Okay. Yeah, I barely remember the Dreamcast game. My Dreamcast is actually one of the strangest Dreamcasts, just because of the way it behaved. Maybe it was just because I bought it secondhand, but it doesn't like many legitimate discs. But pirate discs, plays them all day. All day. I have no idea why this is. I put like legitimate Illbleed in there. Doesn't play for the complete game. Put in a pirate disc, I could finish the whole thing in a sitting. And then there was my experience with Resident Evil Code Veronica, which was the damnedest thing. I bought a copy, then my Dreamcast, what it did was, it would load the game, but I wouldn't be able to play for any more than 5 minutes before it reset itself, so I couldn't even get to a save point. And I thought, well, maybe that's a problem with the game, because it plays everything else just fine. It plays the 2 legit games I have, Marvel vs. Capcom and Soul Calibur. Played those just fine. Played a bunch of Burt games just fine, and even played the PC version of Quake 2 just fine. It's just this one damn game it didn't want to play. So I thought, it's got to be a game issue, right? So I find another copy, and the same thing happens. I thought, this is weird. So then I went out of my way to find a shrink-wrapped still new copy. Same thing. I was like, okay, you know what? God does not want me to play Resident Evil Code Veronica. That is the takeaway I have. The Dreamcast game was similar to Diablo. Oh god, I would have fallen head over ass for that. Did you buy Illbleed new or secondhand? Secondhand. Secondhand. It was after I became aware that there was a market for Dreamcast games nearby. Before, for the longest time, all I had was like my link up for my Neo Geo Pocket Color for like Sonic the Hedgehog and Capcom vs. SNK. And then, of course, Capcom vs. SNK, Soul Calibur. You know, the roundabouts. Mortal Kombat Gold, especially, because I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. Try burning a boot disc for Illbleed. Boot disc? Like, do I understand you right in that we'd have the disc in, boot it, and then disc swap to my legit copy? Because the thing about that is, if I just use my, you know, I'm just going to create a new save file here. I can burn a copy of Illbleed, and that will play without any problems. But it's the legit one that doesn't seem to want to stay on. If Illbleed's having issues, hopefully someone didn't resurface and damage the disc. Oh, see, now that's something I hadn't considered when buying secondhand. The idea of people resurfacing discs. There's boot discs to do a disc swap. You burn a Utopia boot disc. Oh! I actually didn't know about any of that. I assumed I was just kind of up a creek. That's why the Dreamcast never sees very much play. It does get played, just not enough. If you have CDRs that won't play, or if you need to play import games, that you either need a modded Dreamcast or a boot disc. Interesting. See, now the idea of a modded Dreamcast seems so strange to me, because without modding it, it already did crap that, you know, like, I shouldn't be able to play the PC version of Quake 2, you know, unmodded, but I can. I mean, I have to take care in how I burn it. It's a very specially prepared version of Quake 2, but it is the PC version of Quake 2, just running on a Dreamcast. You can always try using a boot disk and then swap to Illbleed and see if that works. That's, you know, that's something I haven't even considered. I mean, obviously I'm just learning it right now that boot disks are even a possibility. But yeah, that's something... Write that down too. Boot disk Dreamcast. And Utopia. That way I'm not guessing later at what that app may or may not be called. The Utopia file is a file that... The Utopia is a file that's very small. Like 1 megabyte. It's been around for decades. It'll show a 3D cartoon reindeer on boot up. Okay. So if we see the reindeer, good things have happened. Words to live by. Oh, there really is nothing this way. All right. There's the red door. God, I lost track of how many times I walked past it. Who the fuck is shooting me? Oh, Nightmare Spectre Sergeants. That seems unnecessary. That seems entirely unnecessary. Eh. So is this a PS1 mod for Doom with all the levels? It is a mod for Doom, but it doesn't include, like, originally released levels. This particular mod includes only levels that were made by the, you know, the fans, the dev team, if you will. That's how the segment starts. And then you get the levels that were cut from the port of Doom 1, but rebuilt with the PS1's limits in mind. And then you move on to John Romero's Sigil, and then the cut levels from the original release of Doom 2, and then we do No Rest for the Living, and then there's the missing levels from the Master Levels, TNT, and Plutonia. But nothing from the original releases, official releases of PlayStation Doom or Final Doom. My favorite Doom mod is the Doom 64 conversion mod with the upscaler. It can even be used with the Legacy of Rust pack. Oh, okay, so it's one that changes the base texture to be like that. That would be really tasty. See, the one that I've been using in the meanwhile for a similar purpose was just called the Doom 64 Fire. But if there's a better one, I would be interested in that. I forgot Sigil 2 is out. Oh, dude, you're missing out. I love Sigil so much. I mean, come on, more Doom from John Romero? How does a guy say no to that? That is a person who has no pulse. It's a GZ Doom mod. Okay. See, the last Doom 64 mods that I know of, or at least, you know, that I've used, all use, well, apart from the one that I'm using in the Doom 64 of Fire, which is another GZ Doom mod, they usually try to run through, like, Doomsday or J-Doom or, you know, front ends that I honestly don't really care to use. So I just kind of don't use them, but that's why I found the, well, at least the GZ Doom one that I have. And I like combining that with, you know, different mods. Like, maybe I'll slap that onto Doom 0 and get Doom 0 64, and it's fantastic. Sigil 2 was one of those things that, like the first Sigil, I double bought it. That is to say, I bought the digital and the physical. And it was worth every goddamn penny. There was this mod that had crazy dynamic lighting effects, but I don't think it needed RTX? Really? Because that's like the opposite of what I know. If something like that exists, I'd love to know about it. I think the Brutal Doom Black had it. Okay, I can't... Man, you know what? I can't remember the last time I checked out the current state of Brutal Doom. Might have been like 5-6 years ago? So there's probably been a lot that's been changed or added since I last saw. And if nothing else, there's probably been scores upon scores of new mods and WODs utilizing it. Suck rocket, Pain Elemental. Definitely haven't played Brutal Doom Black. Yeah, it's Doom Black, but I think it only works with the Brutal Doom mod active. It's pretty memory intensive. Okay. Oh, well, I guess that might be as good a reason as any for me to check out Brutal Doom again. I think the last major graphical mod of Doom that I played or had the chance to was playing classic Doom in VR, but with voxel weapons and demons, and it was so fucking cool. So fucking cool. I can't even run Brutal Doom Black. It's a memory hog. Oh, so if I try to get this running, I should definitely maybe not consider the Steam Deck as the primary port of call. Go straight to my Dark Ages tower. Wolfenstein has some awesome mods too. Now, which Wolfenstein do you mean? Do you mean like 3D, Return to Castle Wolfenstein? Or are you talking about like the Wolfenstein mods made in the Doom engine, like Brutal Wolfenstein? Yeah, I have GZ Doom Voxel on Quest 2. Quake 2 on Side Quest is amazing. Yeah. Yeah, once you've got voxels on in the 3D zone, it's like, oh my god. I've become Captain N. My lifelong dream has been fulfilled. Wolfenstein 3D, yeah, it has LZ Wolf and Easy Wolf. Okay, I knew about Easy Wolf. Is LZ Wolf just another offshoot about that? I use Easy Wolf for Wolfenstein and Blake Stone. And it works fantastic. Not the Doom 2 Wolf 3D conversions. Okay, good to know. Because most of the time when people are mentioning Wolfenstein mods, they're always meaning the Doom mods that are Wolfenstein themselves. I'm like, that's not Wolfenstein mods. That's a Doom mod that makes it Wolfenstein. It's a subtle but big difference. Big difference. I had thought that Easy Wolf would work for Corridor 7, but I couldn't make one see the other, but it runs fine enough just through DOSBox, so, you know, whatever. LZ Wolf is another one, yeah. It has a mod where it has floors and ceilings and updated mods to convert. Easy Wolf has some good HD pack conversions to turn it into the 3DO Wolf 3D. Oh, now that would be of great use to me. Because you see, I am like one of maybe 6, possibly 9, nice, people who think that the 3DO version of Wolfenstein is the best version of Wolfenstein, period. Now, having that on my PC would be something. The thing that puts it head and shoulders above is that it's got the entire PC campaign and the Wolfenstein, or not the Wolfenstein, and the Super Nintendo campaign as well. Which is completely different. All with these new graphics. It's honestly incredible. You want to see how much, you know, giving people not enough time to do something affects something? The same person who was largely responsible for that Wolfenstein port was also responsible for the Doom port. The difference is, the Wolfenstein port, they gave her what she needed. In Doom, they told her the project was done when it wasn't even started and said, here's 10 weeks, go. Poor girl. It's a wonder the game even compiles. I had a 3DO, and the version of Wolfenstein 3D was easily the best one. Excellent taste. The Jaguar one was even decent, but not as good. I was always curious to check out the Jaguar version, but even emulated, that doesn't seem to run correctly for me. I'll have to get an actual Jaguar, I guess, to slake that curiosity, which is no big deal. Kind of always wanted to have one, to check out Alien vs. Predator. Yeah, you can get that mod with the SNES campaign and the PC version with the floors and ceilings in LZ Wolf. Okay, well there we go. LZ Wolf 3DO mod. New thing to check out. Holy shit! Lot of pissed off thing. The 3DO Doom. Yeah, I remember that guy got handed almost nothing. Yep. Purely nothing. That guy was under the person who had acquired the money to get that port, rather, because this is not the dev. I have to say, it is not the dev. The person who hired this dev to do that was under the impression that things like adding weapons was as simple as just adding pictures and hitting go. Like, unreal. AVP was junk. Was it? God, back in the day, I have such vivid memories of how good it looked and how much I really wanted to play it. I mean, now it's probably pretty quaint. And I know the way my emulator runs it is completely fucking wrong. but honestly, I wouldn't be that surprised. Just, you know, modestly disappointed. The guy that ran the company took the money and ran. He was recently awaiting trial for allegations of stuff involving children. Oh, no. Really? Really? The musician? Yeah, the same guy. I remember that, that Doom dev said, yeah, he was fucking useless, but he was a great musician and he had a band, so he made the soundtrack. At least he could do something. Right? But, oh, man. That's as disgusting as it is disappointing. Though I gotta hand it to the guy, he did do the soundtrack for Doom 3DO, which was awesome, and he recorded it in his garage in like a week. Yeah, it embodied the spirit of the port. And it was one of the better reimaginings of the soundtrack I've heard, quite honestly. What is it with these people and not being able to keep their hands off the kids? I don't get it. It's like one piece of video game media has a line that aged so... The Wizard, which is often erroneously thought of as a 3-hour Super Mario 3 commercial. But there's a part in there where I guess you'd call him the antagonist kid, you know, Lucas. He comes out and he's like, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. You know, he's making it look so badass and he's intimidating them. And then Fred Savage's character, he's like, yeah, we'll keep your Power Gloves off of her, okay, pal? And then later, Mr. Lucas is convicted of things of not keeping his Power Gloves to himself. Why? Why? He was giving guitar lessons or something for kids. Okay, I suppose that's more how. But, ugh. Disgusting. Just disgusting. Oh no. The Power Glove kid, yeah, I think he did something similar. He did. He absolutely did. And every time I watch that movie, the giggle is just a little different. It's like, he never did heed Fred's warnings. Oh my god, that's so much plasma! Shit! California. Okay, yeah, we gotta get them from another side. We can't just jump out like that. 0? What do you mean we're out of BFG shots? What do you mean I wasted them all in the Icon of Sin fight? Ow, ow. Ow. Shotgun wound sustained while in a radioactive pool? That's a bit more than a staph infection. I miss retro FPS stuff. Well, the best thing about modern FPS now is that Boomer's back, baby. We've never been more back. And now it feels like there's so much more to play than there ever has been instead of like surviving off the occasional Far Cry while watching military shooter after Fortnite just dominate the place. But man, so many games. Proteus has been a nice throwback. Proteus is amazing. That's one of those top tier examples I recommend to people. But God, the list could just go on. You got your Proteus, you got Dusk, you got Ion Fury. Whoa! Pretty much anything New Blood puts out is basically gold. I also played some recent one on Steam called Dead Trash, and it was just as bad as it sounds. Oh, some of those are delightful. Like, I end up getting those all the time on Steam. Like, I can't even remember the name of one I was looking for when I was trying to figure out what I was going to play in the afternoon. I was like, the fuck is that? I don't remember getting that game. Oh, it was one of those games I got for free. Then I look at the gameplay, I was like, ah, yes. Yes. This is broken DOS jank that I accepted for free. I'll play it at some point. But at that price, it's a lot easier to swallow, you know? I can just be like, I'm playing a bad game. Oh yeah, Dusk is awesome. Ion Fury I never finished, but yeah, it's just like Duke 3D. New Blood is my favorite studio. Absolutely. Same. I mean, I can't choose id Software here. It's got to be New Blood. Their output is so consistently games I just fucking love to play. And then I love every time New Blood finds a way to work in Big John. It's my favorite part of every New Blood game, finding out where Big John is and how he's being used. A Medieval on Quest is awesome. Oh, a Medieval is awesome no matter how you play it. On Quest, it'd be great. Yeah, Big John. when they had in the secret level those armies of little Big Johns, there's just like just God, I couldn't handle it. It was so good. I love that he was just a straight up boss in Dusk. That was a good callback to that 2013 Rise of the Triad. I never finished Fallen Aces, but I loved how it played. Well, you're a couple steps ahead of me, because I've never played Fallen Aces. I'm actually having a difficult time recalling it right now. Ooh, that's a lot of bullshit. Let's just have a quick look-see. Fallen Aces. Oh, that! Yeah! Yeah, I just straight up never got around to that. I have no reason for not playing that at all. I only played the 2013 Rise of the Triad briefly. The Ludicrous Edition plays nice and smooth. I love Night Dive. Oh, so do I. They're just doing God's work. I played the 2013 Rise of the Triad, like, a lot, and I had it, like, at launch, because I'm a giant Rise of the Triad fan. I remember, like, losing my shit at that reveal trailer. Because the whole time, I was just, like, scratching my head going, why does this look familiar, but it doesn't? It just, I don't know. But then I heard that unmistakable underpinnings, just do, and then that, no, oh no, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This is coming back? And it looked It looked amazing. I had to get it. Had to get it. It was an interesting experience. I still prefer the original, but I also remember thinking about that time, now it was about like 2013, 2014, that I was like, man, this is so great. How cool would it be if instead of going the direction that Doom seems to be going, that someone could just do like a fully classically attituded new Doom game? And then 2016 happened. Fuck! Fallen Aces is the one where you're the detective in the 1930s. Yeah, I just saw when I looked it up. The crime noir. That looks fucking awesome. Now, I think in my head, I just, like, briefly overwrote it with mouse on simply that it's crime noir. Even though they're not even close to the same. Like, the other is, you know, dedicated to animated shows and looks, and that is not what Fallen Aces looks like. But, you know, it's the same kind of time period. Some of the music in Legacy of Rust sounds like rot. Oh, absolutely! And Rise of the Triad has some of the best classic FPS music ever, but yeah, I definitely heard some Rise of the Triad and Legacy of Rust. The drunk missile was my favorite. Mine too! Watching all of those missiles suddenly lock in at once and then chase something, like, uniformly. That was, like, one of my most fun experiences of multiplayer. Just like, I wonder if there's anybody here. Fire the drunk missile, and then they all zero in on a guy at the last second. I'm like, oh! Thought you could hide from me! Because then I could give them all 5 missiles once I know where he is. Get out of the radioactive pool. Oh, right. Oh, we gotta get around that side to take out that Arachnotron threat, I think. A good opportunity to save while they're all down. Doom 2016 soundtrack was so good, and it came with a free game. Mostly true. Mostly true. And when I say mostly true, I say I bought a soundtrack version of it that did not come with the game. I understand that's the minority, though. There you go, you bastards. And by that, I mean... the boxed, limited vinyl box set. This did not come with the game. But the game most certainly came with a hell of a soundtrack. God, when that game first came out, it was literally all I played for like 2 years straight. And I mean all I played. And then when it came out on the Switch, it was all I played on that system. I played so much Doom 2016 on that system, I ruined the battery and the fan on it. It's bulbous and weird and sounds like a dying car when you turn it on. That's why I had to upgrade to the Switch OLED. It was out of necessity. My buddy has the soundtrack on vinyl. We listen to it when we board game. Yes! And peak is if you're also playing the Doom board game, or one of them anyway. There's one based off of Doom 3 and Resurrection of Evil, and then there was one based off of 2016, and they recently closed the deal for one to be made based off of the Dark Ages, which obviously I gotta have. The Doom soundtrack was so good I play it over other games. Well, yeah. Yeah, so do I. Man, I want that vinyl. It's one of the best vinyls I've ever bought. My buddy has that. Yeah, it was difficult to get, and there was only like very limited window of opportunity. And then the worst part was playing tag with your delivery driver just to make sure you get it. And, you know, some fucking porch pirate doesn't. I have Doom 2016 on my workout list. Yeah, rip and tear. Just that on loop? Come on now. And that's just one track. You get the whole soundtrack on there? That's honestly like a really nice full workout. Give yourself 3 hours, and the soundtrack's got built-in moments of calm for you to stop and hydrate. I might have done this before. Ow, ow, ow. Right. Not listening to my own advice. I had to go back over this way, but that was foolish. Foolish! I have the Doom 3 board game, which later got converted to Doom 2016 in the reprint. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was like just a straight up, like, well, cosmetic change and then reprint, or if it was like a new game with new systems, because I didn't get the 2016 reprint. I couldn't find anywhere here that carried it. But I still have the Doom 3 original and the expansion pack, of course. I would like to pick it up, naturally. And I'm going to make sure the same thing doesn't happen to the Dark Ages board game when it comes out. It's the same game. Okay. Well, I have to imagine at least the missions are different. But I could see the rules being totally the same. Cool Stuff had it. Okay. Things I'll have to have a look-see for. We had board game shop in our area that probably would have carried it, but by the time I went to think down and check, they were closed. Like, forever. So there was no going back and checking next week. The Doom 3 expansion pack I never played. Sold mine when it got really pricey. I know it had the Soul Cube, though. And it had a whole bunch of new enemies and bosses, like the Cacodemon, the Vagaries, etc. And of course, like a whole new deck's worth of stuff for the Hell player. New power-up cards that are just sinister. I thought for sure I was just about to accidentally crater myself. The Doom board game was just Descent board game, also reskin. I also had the Gears of War board game. I think that's what GOW is in this case. I didn't know Doom was a reskin. That's interesting. I never knew Descent had a board game. That's also interesting to me. They also released a Wolfenstein New Order board game. Oh, Jesus. All kinds of board games I didn't know existed that I need to have. Especially if it has miniatures, because that's like 90% of the reason I bought the Doom one. Anyway. Playing it's a blast, but I love painting miniatures. And painting Doom miniatures? Come on now. That sounds like every board game shop around me. They pop up seasonally and die off. Yeah, it's a thing here too. They always look so sure of themselves when they're open. I didn't like how grenades worked on that Doom board game. Yeah, they're a little confusing, I find. Sometimes a little bit too random, you know, like the way they scatter. Kinda really didn't use them that much as a result. Because they never seem to get the job that I wanted done. Not Descent like the PC game. Oh, that's exactly what I thought. I'm glad you realized that, because that's exactly what I would have thought. I would have been sitting here imagining, like, how in the fuck would you do a spaceship game like that as a board game? You know, if anybody would be up to the task, I'm sure it would be Fantasy Flight. I mean, they're the company that keeps making the Doom board game, I think. Descent was a Fantasy Flight, oh, just as I was saying, board game that was like the advanced version of Hero Quest. Oh, man, I remember Hero Quest. I remember the funniest part about that is I describe it as Canadian Hero Quest, because it was very obviously the Canadian equivalent meant to compete with it, called Dark World. And I had that. That was fun, and it had a lot of really cool miniatures. Had this really cool castle set, actually, that was incredibly perfectly to scale to, like, Warhammer 40,000. So, you know, that ended up crossing over into tabletop gaming for me. Well, crossing over into more tabletop gaming than just Dark World. Yeah, I painted a few of the Doom minis. Awesome! Awesome! I remember just about flipping my biscuit when they were releasing the original, like, the pewter miniatures. Excuse me, based on the original Doom that were originally sculpted and released by Reaper. Those pewter models are much closer to what I'm used to painting in Warhammer 40,000. How the fuck do I get up there? None of this is helping me get a yellow key, which is what we need to move. Canyon indeed. If we've hit that... Oh, what if there's another place with another switch? Let's see. We know there's this pit. We've hit that. Now, let's try the second pit, which is more rightmost. Also hit. Possibly even the same place. Yeah, the old pewter ones I remember painting. I used to water down acrylic paint to primer them with thinner. Oh, really? Thinner? You'd use thinner with acrylic? Or you just mean like you're thinning out the paint so it doesn't go on so thick? Because, oh boy, I remember a bunch of first-time models were a real lesson in keeping your coats thin. Those poor Space Marines would never breathe right. I also learned that paint thinner, if you leave it on plastic long enough, just destroys it. Of course, I have used thinner to strip a pewter model or two. You know, after you've done a few more jobs, and you're like, you know what? I think I can paint it even better than that. So we're gonna strip you and then try again. Yeah, can't use thinner on plastic minis. Another lesson I learned the hard way. I've seen people glob testors on pewter. No! No! First of all, don't glob testors on anything. No! Secondly, no! Oh my god! I love Testor's paints when I'm using them on the kits that they're intended for. But god, you can't just use them like that. Of course, the best part is, you know, the average size of your Testors. They get halfway done one model, they're like, oh man, you must go through paint really quick, I bet. Because I know the Games Workshop ones aren't that much bigger, but they hold a bit more acrylic than, would you get on the fucking ledge? I know you can make it up there. But god, yeah, you're supposed to be very, very sparing with that paint. Testor's glue was okay, though. Oh, yeah, they did great glue. Great glue. But the problem with their paints is that they were oil-based. So they were a little bit more difficult to work with when it came to, you know, typical miniature Warhammer needs. Those paints were better suited for, like, accents on, like, vehicles. Games Workshop primer is nice, but it's too expensive. Fact. Just fact. Fucking damn near everything. Not damn near. Let's face it. Everything they do is overpriced. Listen, you get on that damn ledge or I'm going to get in there and break your knees. But the primer especially is just too much. You know what? I don't think it wants me up there. Alright, fine. Well then, obviously, I must take the blue key somewhere else. That was the entrance. Oh. We're just back at the start. Well, that's not right. Nowhere else I could need to jump? No. New Game Plus can't be that bad. Let's try it with Give Me God of War, a normal enemy. Let's try it with Give Me God of War. A normal enemy snapped me like a fiddle. Well, welcome to New Game Plus. Everyone has new capabilities, bosses will have new attacks. This is the ass throttling you've waited for. I can't believe that's been able to be open the whole time. Actually, GW washes were pretty good too. I just prefer the Vallejo paints. That's fair. Because I will absolutely cop to their washes being great. But Vallejo, I'm not familiar with that brand. I might have to check that out. More shit to write down. L-E-J-O Paints. Minis. The first boss made me into a chew toy. Did he have a whole new range of attacks to make you regret ever asking for a bigger challenge? Lies of P was like that. You think you're gonna steamroll the first enemy you see when you realize the game is onto your tricks. I still gotta beat the DLC. I still gotta play it. And that's a game that gets recommended to me a lot too. I mean, I like Elden Ring, so obviously that is gonna find its way into my recommendations. Vallejo paints, they're awesome. Don't need to thin them. Oh, that's a big step. Boris Vallejo. Okay, I gotta add Boris Vallejo paints. Something to check out later. Appreciate the tip. Thank you. I don't understand. These switches are hit. The bridge isn't upping. Okay, that's not a teleporter. That's just something else. I just got done playing Splatterhouse 2 on a keyboard. That is a challenge. I bet it would be. That reminds me of the time I went through Super Nintendo Dracula X with a numpad. Not a way I'd recommend playing it, but I beat it. Not the ideal way. Similarly, I imagine, is what you've been through. But you know what? Speaking of, you know what I want a re-release of? The remake of Splatterhouse. That one that was on PS3? I really enjoyed that game. Really enjoyed it. And the fact that it came with the original Splatterhouse trilogy? Mwah! Perfect. Serve it to me again. No notes. Lies of P is Dark Souls, but much more user-friendly. Game wants you to enjoy it, but also gives you a serious challenge. Super fun game. Really. Haven't quite heard it recommended like that before. Might have to rethink that one. I wouldn't recommend playing Dracula X if you have Rondo anyway. That's a fair point. And I'll like, also, just why? I mean, there's a lot of games in Castlevania that I would rather play over Dracula X. Literally any other 16-bit entry. Super 4, Bloodlines. I'd even take any member of the NES trilogy. Even the Game Boy games. Yeah, I would play the Castlevania Adventure. The remake of Splatterhouse wasn't that bad. No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for exactly what it was. I didn't finish it. I got to the end where you're on this giant rock formation elevator and got pissed. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier from there, so maybe you made the right choice for you. It becomes just fucking bonkers once you get to that last section and you're trying to close the gate from Dr. What's-His-Uts. There's the yellow key. I've been up this lift so many times. Incredible. You... Fuck you, whoever did that. Fuck you, Baltimore. If you play at Castlevania Adventure, get the ROM fix for it. It's for Game Boy Color re-release and it fixes the slowdown issue. Also, you don't lose power-ups when you get hit. That by itself is a game changer. An absolute game changer. Like most levels, I don't find that that's so bad. But in Dracula's Castle, it's grueling once you get there. But I didn't know that had Game Boy Color. GBC CV ADV. Thought you were going to recommend it first, the Wii remake, which is also awesome. The Castlevania Adventure Rebirth. Konami, where the fuck is that? Why has that not been put on a collection? Or some kind of digital market? Where normal people can play it and enjoy it again? Hell, slap it in the Dominus collection right beside the Haunted Castle remake. It's no less silly than putting Super Nintendo Dracula X in with the Castlevania Advance collection. Like, come on! Big Bill Hells! Good! Somebody caught that! Home of challenge pissing! Will fuck your wife! Guaranteed! Rebirth on the Wii was amazing. So was Contra Rebirth. Yeah, those games were really something else. I did not actually pick up the Contra collection, although I seriously doubt it. Does anybody know if that included Contra Rebirth? I doubt that it did. But it would be fucking amazing if it did, because that game was great. I mean, granted, okay, the first game is good. Let's be clear about that. But I think the NES game is much, much better than the arcade game. And Wii Rebirth is much, much better than the arcade game as well. Challenge pissing. Yeah, you get no down payment if you don't piss on yourself. That's pretty good, even though most dealers offer it for free. Well, sometimes you just go for that extra touch, you know? If you can piss 6 feet in the air and not get wet, you'll get no down payment. Big Bill Hells is very famous. You stupid motherfucker. Fuck! Oh god, just get out. Get out of the damn level. I don't care what health you have. Rebirth is not on the collection. Didn't think so. But the Contra collection is still worth getting. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the Castlevania collections told me that it is very worth getting to have. They're very, very comprehensive. The only problem I had with one of the Castlevania collections was the first one, the Anniversary Collection. And the issue I have with that is there's no way to get like a 4:3 image that fills your screen the way that I have going right now with this PS1 game. It's always a letterbox even at top and bottom, unless you use the scanline filters, but I don't like the way their scanline filter looks. I want to be able to just have it full screen, but without scanlines. But, you know, the other collections got with it, but that first one didn't. Real shame on that. Real shame that there hadn't been like an update to fix that either. You'd better not bounce a check on us or you're a dead motherfucker. Guaranteed! Oh, come on, get on there and grab the shells, you ass. Fuck you, Baltimore! Whoa, now. I just rewatched it. Holy shit, that's funny. It's... Oh, at this point, I guess I can only really describe it as like sedimentary internet, but my god, it's still so good. That's where you'll find the most ancient of treasures and then really feel out how much of your internet experience you have. Like people who can't identify badger, 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 mushroom. I was there, Gandalf. 3,000 years ago. Best part is, I know it's a shitpost, but like without irony, if Big Bill Hells was real, I'd go. I would 100% go. Like, you know what? If I'm getting a used car, this is the fucking place I'm gonna get it. The only dealer that tells you to fuck off! That's where you are. Fuck yeah, go get heckled by Big Bill Hell. That'd be half the fun. The paperwork is just a formality. For a brief second, I thought I was still in the previous stage. I can't say I remember this one off the top of my head, but then again, I don't play No Rest for the Living very often. I've been through it a couple of times, but it doesn't see the same replay value as, you know, the mainline games, or even Legacy of Rust. Do not bring your spouse! And they'll fuck your wife at no extra cost. Where else are you going to get a deal like that? Depends if you're going to buy a car or if you're going to sort something out with the government. Because if you need a form, maybe you should see Big Bill Hell first. Get ready for the rodeo. Whew, all right. Oh yeah, I've just been ignoring these dicks. Dude's been just winging shots at me. Whoa. Oh, okay. I thought the gray part was going to be the door and not the green part. That was probably really stupid. Whoa, who the fuck? Oh man, it's not even a specter of any kind. I just really let my guard down. Oh, we need at least the blue key. Not gonna lie, which enemy is the least threatening out there of the super heavies in Doom Eternal and the Dark Ages? But for Eternal, you can use the Ice Bomb or Energy Shield. That's true. And in the Dark Ages, you can use your shield. I mean, don't forget, you do have the parry, but if you throw and the shield, sticks to them, like you do that to an average heavy or super heavy, he's going to be frozen on the spot, just like an ice grenade. So you can run up and just keep rocking the shotgun to him, very similarly. Great strategy if you have your shotgun perked up enough to start burning demons. So you can start making yourself a little armor pinata. Can't, my bad. Okay, let me give that another shot then. Which enemy is the hardest Which enemy is the least threatening out of the super enemies in Doom Eternal and the Dark Ages? But for Eternal, you can't use the Ice Bomb or Energy Shield. Okay. Least threatening out of all the super heavies in Eternal and the Dark Ages. Least threatening... Super heavy. Okay, whoa! Super heavy. Least threatening super heavy. See, that's tough. Because I can easily say the least threatening heavy, period, is Hell Knights. Like, they're great bullies, but you can just snap them out of existence so hard, like, no matter what game it is. Like, here I am just casually one-handing and making gestures while fighting two of them in the classic game. But I know you were just asking about the Dark Ages and Eternal. But, you know, it's about the same. In the Dark Ages, they come in, you go, whang, super shotgun, and then they're stunned. So you go, crunch, and then they're dead. And then in Doom Eternal, meat hook in, shoot them once in the face, they're faltered, shoot them again with a super shotgun, and they're dead. Done. Done. But super heavies. I think that's probably gonna have to go to Eternal's Tyrant, who I will still call a Cyber Demon generally, but for the purposes of this answer, I have to be technically correct, because the Tyrant just can't track or take punishment as well as the Cyber Demon in the Dark Ages. So he's by contrast, a much more erasable or even ignorable enemy. Because his lock-on missiles, like, even one dash is enough to get you out of most of the splash zone, no matter how many that he's shooting. 2 dashes will clear you completely. Everything else, I think, has just a little bit more spice. Whereas the Tyrant has the sole novelty of living up to Doom 2 Cyber Demon. And I mean, to make a point of it, though they're both super heavies, say a Tyrant and an Archvile drop in. Who are you shooting first? It's not the Tyrant. Because he's not as threatening. Can't type right as the God of Thunder zaps me into powder. Oh, that's what he does. The Tyrant was never a huge threat, honestly. He just adds so much to the chaos of the battlefield. But by themselves, they're pretty straightforward to kill. That's exactly it. Like, in a massive fight, they're so good. But one-on-one, they're nothing. Like that one instant that a game journal brought up for Ancient Gods Part 1, where they're like, they close you in this tight room and then lock you in with a Cyber Demon. And watching him fail and flounder against it, I'm like, it's a Cyber Demon. Just shut up and start shooting him. He'll be dead before you have time to think of it. But Game Journo is gonna Game Journo. And I think the least menacing super heavy in the Dark Ages is probably the Cyber Demon, but he is much more menacing. He's much better able to track you at any distance to get you into his ideal distance, which is right up in his grill, where things get real interesting. But yeah, I would go with the Tyrant. However, an Armored Baron are easy too, but in a massive fight when there are two of them and a Bloodmaker, they become real tough fucks. Yeah, exactly. Like, the Armored Baron does have its advantages there. Excuse me, don't know why I ended up butchering that sentence that way, but yeah, they've got their advantages over the Tyrant, particularly if they were encountered in pairs, which, more often than not, they are, outside of that way where you're introduced to them in that first fight in the World Spear. But get a pair of Barons in that fight, armored as they should be, they are definitely a bigger problem than any one Tyrant in that chaotic mess. I suppose what it would cause me to do is start seeking out the Tyrants to eliminate them first so I could focus on the Barons, because they're tougher. I hear that shit opening, but I don't know. Wonder what that is. I think I'm being led far away from where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, this is just the start of the level. Good job, Dan. We'll save regardless. I have no real clue. Wait. Can I get off of... No, those parts aren't joined up. Well, there goes that idea. The next idea is figuring out... Oh! Move, you fucking candle! Oh? I know. Is this possibly a way? It's a skull key! Perfect! That's twice now we've done that in this session. Okay. Oh, jeez, didn't realize. Okay, well, what we're gonna do then is we're gonna save now that we know exactly where we are. And, unfortunately, we have reached the end of the time that we have available to stream today. I want to thank you all for taking some time to spend some time with me, sitting down, watching me run around through mazes, throw my ninja-like senses against walls that collapse, and hoping they don't squish me. It's a learning experience that I like it when everyone's a part of. Y'all are why I enjoy doing this so much. Anyway, feel free to join us tomorrow, where we are going to be continuing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. And who knows, maybe we'll do some more of this, or maybe I'll pick out some other illustrious title from the depths of my backlog. But we'll just have to figure that out. Good stream. Thank you, Carnivorous Giraffe. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I sure enjoyed myself. All right, everybody. We're going to see you later, or tomorrow. You can see my brain's already starting to melt. But yes, join us tomorrow for more Ninja Gaiden and God knows what else. Have a nice rest of your day, everyone. Thank you, Alex. And you too as well. Everybody do. Everyone have fun, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Until then, see you later, guys.